We are rolling.
Now, what most people don't understand or know is that the Mayans had this calendar. And of course, back in 2012, there was this connection on this to where it stated that the world was going to end in December of 2012. I believe the day was the 21st. But why didn't it occur? Could it be that aliens stepped in and helped once again? Because the Mayans had shown that with each Baktun, which is the longest count on their calendar, there was this fable, a myth, or a legend, if you will, where there was an evil warrior and then a good warrior that would combat at these 3 points. How did they know about this? How did they come across these 3 points in the ocean? Well, many drawings across the Mayan ruins show these 3 areas right off of Cuba. How did they know about these 3 areas right off of Cuba if they didn't have boats? How did they know this area right in the middle of these 3 points, right in the middle of the water, if they didn't have assistance? It has to be the aliens.
People don't understand about the Bermuda Triangle, man. It's deeper than what you see on television, you know. And the government is there to obviously hide that from you. You know, that's what people don't disappear, man. They just don't like to leave.
Typically, the most common event that most people know about is Roswell, 1951. Well documented. Aliens came down and they were generally seen by a fair amount of officials in the U.S. government. That's why the NSA was created, so I, me, you, others could question the government about what was going on at Roswell, but they didn't have to answer. And so what we have is a conspiracy to cover up these ancient aliens that in fact had started a resort in the Bermuda Triangle. A year-round resort where they could come and go and use that as a port of entry into this world. You, I, or these other people couldn't question that. We had no way of questioning the government because they did want to cover it up. I don't blame them. The aliens were here for most of the major events of this country. We know for a fact that they were there when the Confederates fired on Fort Sumter, starting the U.S. Civil War. Of course they were there when they had the original Boston Tea Party. Of course they were there for all these events. They were curious. From what we know about these aliens, they were intellectually curious and wanted to be there for the big events. 1975 World Series, Cincinnati Reds, Boston Red Sox. Of course they were there. When Carlton Fisk was waving the ball and saying, hey, stay fair. They were there for these things. They're interested people in what's going on in our development. If anything, they're a little bit ahead of us in development, and they want to see how we're coming along.
And then as far as these Bermuda Triangle trends go, I mean, how do we really know where it is? How do we know anything about it either? I mean, all I'm saying is that this triangle, it could indeed be where this species is from. It could indeed be another planet. And at the same time too, you know, as I mentioned, it could be Iraq, it could be any of those other foreign countries as well, because unless you've been there, I mean, how do you know?
First of all, I'd like to say that I am happy to have been brought in as an expert on phenomena such as the Bermuda Triangle. I feel that my expertise with the Dragon's Triangle, which is the Asian counterpart of the Bermuda Triangle, would be helpful in the quest for determining what it is about the Bermuda Triangle that has people so scared. And I'm an author. I've just penned a book called Enter the Dragon. It's after my uncle Bruce. My name is Sarah Lee, and I am living proof of the fact that one can become enlightened after going through such a crazy experience. I'm actually a survivor of the Dragon's Triangle, and I have, not to disclose too much information, I have been enlightened in that I have been able to hone my ninja skills, and all of that will be in my book, which is going to be out in stores before Christmas. It's going to make a great stocking stuffer.
So, I guess we're going to sit here and talk about the Bermuda Triangle and some ancient aliens. I don't know shit about the shit in the first place. There's all type of ancient aliens running around here. All these people in fucking Chicago shooting up everybody. And the Bermuda Triangle, what the fuck is that? It's a triangular shaped island or some shit. I've heard it started back in 1945, and they probably got ancient aliens rolling all around that place. Who gives a fuck? I don't know shit about it. It's a bunch of ancient black aliens running around here. For all I know, everybody's a fucking ancient alien. Shit's cool as fuck. I think the aliens are cool. They fucking come over here and we rock out together and party. Fuck it. We just all party together. I don't know shit about it. The Bermuda Triangle, I've never fucking visited the place. For all I know, it's some triangular shaped place where all people running around acting like a bunch of fucking fools. In my opinion, ancient aliens, Bermuda Triangles, all of it a bunch of piece of shit. How about Chicago? Chicago can be used as the Bermuda Triangle. We got aliens running all around here. People shooting each other. People fucking running around, raping and getting drunk and going out on the highway crashing and shit. Everybody's a fucking alien. Who knows? We talk to all sorts of people. I work in the office full of aliens. So ancient aliens, for what I know, maybe they might be some cool creatures or whatever, but you be the judge.
It goes back to ancient Egyptians. You know, we was the first man, period. You know, we was kings and queens, and everybody else was just cavemen beating on their chest. Anyway, my great grandfather had a relationship with one of these alien women that had came down. They had ways to signal them, and they would play games through the skies. They came down and visited, like kind of like a, but she wasn't really all that. So uncle, you know, being big pimpin', you know, but it's a long story, but that's how it all started.
Is, I mentioned ancient aliens. I think you probably are familiar with the new program we're going to be starting. It's actually not so old nomads. So it's going to be similar in the fact that the names are the opposite, and it has really nothing to do with ancient aliens. But similarly, because I'm going to be in it, and I like that. So what I'm going to do is basically talk about how the nomadic youngins, is what we're going to refer to them as, or the younglins, traversed mountain ranges, not only the Machu Picchu, as you might be familiar with, but also the Caucasus Mountains is a place that I love to visit. The nomadic travelers, the younglings would travel through there, up, down mountains, over ravines, hard tundra, soft tundra, mesa, tabletop cliffs, if you will. It's amazing. So don't want to give too much away on the new edition for the publication, as well as the History Channel H2. We'll be having that as well premiere next month.